Hello, everyone. So sorry, I did my first one, didn't realize I didn't have any audio. So we're going to fix that. And now you have audio, so let me go through my presentation one more time. All right. My applied assignment by Hayden Anderson, that's me, for SPE-223. Table of contents that shows everything we're going to be going over. Give you a second to look at that. Pre-work, numero uno. In my pre-work, my topic was hidden disabilities, and the reason why. My wife has dyslexia, which is a hidden disability, and also her cousin has autism, which is another hidden disability, and I did over both of them aspects of the inclusion or of inclusion: belonging, equal opportunity, and respect. And these are three that she actually gave me for herself. She said these are some that she felt like she lacked and needed more of growing up. In the interview, who did I interview? Katie Stegall. Now it's Anderson because she is my wife now. Why? She has dyslexia. Background knowledge: she is my wife, and one of her struggles with her disability was grade school. To give a little bit of background of her dyslexia. In our course material, here, let me move my floating head down here. My first resource was people with invisible disabilities or hidden disabilities. And that is how and why right there. It shows us hidden disabilities and how we can help people with these disabilities. And that we should help them and try to be respectful and understanding of their disabilities, of the possibility of them having the disabilities. We need to believe them if they tell us that that's what they have. And this is a picture of a lady advocating for people with hidden disabilities from that exact article up there. And then another resource I used was by British Dyslexia Association about living with a dyslexic partner. As myself being a partner of someone with dyslexia, I feel like this article helped me a lot. Helped me realize the struggles she goes through. It gives great insight on dyslexia and partners that have dyslexia and how they should always be treated and ways to help them their day-to-day lives. Evidence. These are the questions I asked my wife. It's about 7 questions, and one of them is kind of a 2-part question. What was it like having childhood dyslexia? What was it like living with someone who has autism? What is it like in your everyday life with dyslexia? What is it like at school with dyslexia? How does it affect her job as a correctional officer? What is it like when your cousin has a fit? And what do you do to help him and what calms him down? What is it like when you tell people, you have a disability? Do they believe you or do they kind of question it? And new learning. These are some of her questions right here, or my questions to her. Let me go ahead and move my head to the center of the screen. Now I'm center of attention. Inclusion. And these are the questions she kind of told me felt like they hinted on her inclusion in school and inclusion in general, in life and everything. And I have learned so much about disabilities that are hidden and making sure I am more understanding of people and how their disabilities affect them. I also have learned more about inclusion for people with disabilities and how important it is to include them in tasks. I also have learned how important inclusion is for people who feel left out and them not making contributions in everyday life activities. Um, Hidden disabilities are overlooked so much in the education system. It usually creates separation for students who need more time with their work and learning and stuff like that. And a lot of them just need more help, and this kind of allows them to get behind. Our course has shown us how much inclusion really matters for these people and why we should include everybody. All right, another new learning topic: equity. It is very important to have people who have disabilities or hidden disabilities are usually not given great equity, as they are not given a fair shake and usually fall behind in the school system. In our course, it has shown us how impartial society is for people with disabilities, but also shows us some parts of society that try to help. Now, typically, you see more help given to people that have physical disabilities that are noticeable. Um, Now, can we do more to help people with hidden disabilities? Of course. Make things more attainable for them and more accessible, of course. And these are some of the questions that I asked her that I feel like fall under the equity statement and all that stuff. And I also agree that there's just not much we can do for people with hidden disabilities just because it's not something that is more out in the open. But of course, we can still advocate for them and try to make life as easy as possible for them. My next topic is accessibility in society. For people with dyslexia, it's difficult, but some people have patience when my wife struggles to read a menu or a sign because she gets a letter mixed up. In our course, we talk about access a lot and how businesses try to be more accessible for customers and how society also tries to help people with disabilities and make their life easier. The best we can, but they try to make their life easier the best we can, but we can always do more for the people who struggle to do the simplest task in their day-to-day lives. Now, this was a big question about, in my evidence, what her everyday life is like. And it is a struggle. And how it was when she was a child, it was a lot worse for her then. And of course, as time grew on, she got more acquainted with her surroundings. Now we're going to move. Continued inquiry. And now I'm going to move myself over here. Now I want to know, are people with hidden disabilities helped more now than they were when my wife was in school, especially in the lower grades, like kindergarten through third grade or maybe even fifth grade? I would like to interview someone that has a hidden disability that is in these grade levels to see their experience now versus her experiences. However, I do not know anyone personally in these grades with a disability. That's kind of the difficult part. I could probably find someone, of course, but I don't like. Again, would they be okay with an interview? Especially being a little kid, like it's already a struggle as it is. Plus, I feel the ability for them to give thorough answers is more difficult than someone in an older grade. So I would more likely have to find someone that maybe a little just younger than my wife, that's a little bit older and not in them grades anymore. Possibly, maybe they're in high school now or junior high. The reason I want to do this is because my wife had so much trouble in these lower grades at getting the proper help to include her and help her succeed, that it affected her later in life. And I don't want that for anybody. So I want to make sure that the kids are getting the help they need. That way they can succeed. And that way I know we're doing better and better every single day, every single year. And I think that is a very important aspect that this course has shown me. All right. Boom. Thanks, everybody. This class was awesome. It definitely helped me a lot. It definitely gave aspects that I never really thought about. As I don't have a disability, and honestly, me and my wife, we don't really talk about her disability that much. And I feel like talking about it has given me things that I can help her with and makes me want to help her. And I think that's very important in our relationship. And I think it's very important for everybody that the need to help and the want to help people really matters. And these are my resources. Again, that picture earlier was from that article that I pointed up to. These are just two of my resources that I used. These are the two I used for my project. There was a few other that I did read and get good ideas, but these were the two best I feel like fit my needs at the moment. As being somebody that is in a relationship with someone with a hidden disability, I feel like that was important to include that one, as well as talking about hidden disabilities and people that just they need to be fought for. They need help just like anybody else. And I think this class has shown me a lot of that. And as I reflect over this class, I feel like this class is a needed class, and where I'm going to be going in educational studies, I feel like I'm going to have people that have hidden disabilities. And to have the patience with them is going to be the important aspect that I'm going to bring from this class. And I thank you for that. Y'all have a great day. And let me pause my recording.